hooded eyes. Hooded eyes are just a struggle. I was born with hooded eyes. They're more hooded now and just more loose. And I actually have one here. If you can look at my right eye and compare it to my left eye, it's much more drooped down than my left eye. I think it's because I sleep on my right side. I don't know. So what I want to show you is a technique that I have learned that will lift up my right eye a bit. It's not going to make all of a sudden my right eye non-droopy, but what it will do is even out the look and make my face be a little bit more symmetrical, so therefore it doesn't look so obvious that I have one eye that's a bit droopy. I am also thrilled to say that this video is being sponsored by Rēphr, and Rēphr is a makeup brush company. I have used Rēphr brushes for several years. I have shown them in many of my videos that have never been sponsored. This is the first time they have sponsored me. Their ultimate goal is to provide world-class products at a price that anyone can afford. So I'm going to be using all of their tools today. I will list everything below, and any makeup that I use I'm going to list below as well. Right now what I have on my face is an under eye corrector. I used the Rēphr number 32 brush. Then I went in with a foundation and I used the B02 brush. After I did the foundation, I went back in with a concealer. I used the number 32 brush again. I did put a little bit of under eye powder using the number 33 brush. I use this all over the face, down the center, and strategically just on those forehead lines where my foundation just loves to gather. One of the best things you can do to make your eyes look better and a little bit more awake and less droopy is to learn how to do your eyebrows. Now, I'm not going to do an entire eyebrow explanation in this video. I have done several eyebrow videos. I'll do a little playlist down below, so if you want to get to those, you can go see those. But I will tell you a couple things that I think are important when it comes to your eyebrows. This eyebrow is actually lower. So see the difference in the two? They just don't match up. Now, they're more matched up than they used to be. This one actually goes down here a little bit more. So I actually cut these hairs a little bit shorter on the ends than this one, so it doesn't show that it droops down even more. So what I'm going to do is try to even out how my eyebrows look. Okay, so if you've noticed, I concentrated all of the color on top of my eyebrow to to bring the color up and raise my eyebrow. So I'm going to now draw it back up. Not draw it back up, brush it back up. And I am going to fill in a little bit underneath just to even out, because you can see I've got some empty space in here. Now I'm going to just color in the area here to make it even and a little bit closer into my nose area. Now already you can see that my eyebrows look a little bit more in line with this one. So on this side, my left one, I'm just going to fill in the sparse areas. Always brush them through and even things out and make it just a little bit softer. Brows are done. That evens out my eyes just a little bit more. It frames my face. Learn to do your eyebrows because that makes a world of difference with your eyes. Okay, the next thing you can do to make your eyes just look a little bit even more youthful looking is to even out the skin tone that is on your lid. That's an easy thing to do. Sometimes that's all I do on a day. So my favorite, which the people who are regular around here will go, we know, Bobby, you love this. It's the Perricone MD. I love this. It's not cheap, but it is absolutely my favorite. It doesn't dry out my eyes. It's just kind of like a primer, but it's not really a primer. It's actually an eyeshadow, and it's a liquid. Put it pretty much all over it. I'm going to be using the Rēphr number 36 brush. I like this brush because it's angled and it blots out really well, like I can control it. And that is one thing I will say about the Rēphr brushes. They make it easy for me to be able to control what's happening on my face and my eyes. I have pretty small features, and as I age, they're getting smaller. because I'm getting droopier or poofier or whatever. They're just smaller. One thing that's huge about Rēphr brushes that I absolutely love is they are actually a shorter handle. They're all pretty short brushes, and when you are older and your eyesight is struggling, if it's a long brush, I'm going to be hitting the mirror a lot. I love that these are shorter brush handles. It's also nicer for travel. I'm going to go back in with the number 33 brush, and I'm just going to do a quick, not total cover, because I'm going to put a little bit more over my eyes, but just kind of set the eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Tartelette in Bloom eyeshadow palette. Pretty much I'm staying to this side of the palette. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put just an all over color. I'm going to use the Rēphr number 15 brush. I like this because it's got some movement to it, but it's also a little bit stiff and it's not too big. I'm going to use this, just this all over color right here. So it's close to my eye color, but a tiny bit lighter. It's very important that it's not sticky, because then your eyeshadow is just going to stick no matter what you use. It's going to not blend easily. So it's really important that this is really smooth. So I'm going to go in with this one. It's not too dark, but it's just a little bit darker. Rēphr number 1 brush. Put the brush in at the tip, and I'm going to just go a little bit higher and go down. But I'm going to be really careful to not cover this area right here. If you wanted to, you could actually use like something like this. This is a puff, and use something like that and cover it so you don't get anything in that area. It's really important if you have especially a droopy eye, because what I don't want to do is to bring this area out, because that just brings the eye down. So I want to make sure that my eyeshadow never goes to this area here. My kitty came to visit. I am going to just darken this area and bring it down a little bit. Another area on my eyes that is a problem area is this right here. It's poofy. If you guys can see that. And that's something I don't want to bring out. I'm going to darken it up a little bit. Bring that down. So if you can see, I went basically up from the corner of my eye, up actually a little bit in from here, because I want to keep this area open. And I brought it over and down. Obviously, everyone's eyes are different. You might do something a little bit different. What area do you not want to bring out, that you want it to actually kind of recede? That's the area that you would add a little bit of the darkness, not too dark, but also not light. Like I would not want to put a shimmer right here, because all that's going to do is draw everybody's eyes to right here, and it's going to make my eyes look even more droopy. I'm not going to want to put a shimmer right here, or a really light area, like really bright white or something, right here or right here, because it's going to draw the eye there. And it's okay to do this to get it on there and spread it out, but at some point I do need to have my eyes be normal, like looking at myself normal, because that's how I'm always going to look. I'm going to look at somebody very normal. I'm not going to look at them like this. Okay, so that was the number 1 brush. Now I'm going in with the number 28 brush. This one's a little bit thinner and flat. This gives me a little bit more control because it's smaller and it's a more condensed brushes. Again, short, so I can get really close in to a mirror if I need to see it. And on this brush, I'm actually going to go in on the side. So it's pretty dark, and this is where I'm going to really bring in that area that I want to raise up. So I'm going to place it about here, and I'm going to actually go straight down. Now it's not too dark, but it's definitely darker than what I was using. Again, I'm keeping this entire area clear. And right now you're just placing it. You're not blending or anything. You're just getting it placed where it needs to be. I clearly have more on my right. I always do. I think it's because I'm right-handed. I just press it harder. That was a number 28 brush. Now I'm gonna go in with a clean, fluffier kind of brush. This is the number 15 brush. So a little bit bigger than the one brush. Again, I'm not blending out to this area. I'm keeping it inward. And I'm gonna show you another little trick if you do blend out where you didn't want to blend it. While I'm still using the darker shades, I am going to bring a little bit underneath my eye with the Rēphr number 23 brush. This is a pencil brush that is obviously very little. And I love this brush. So I'm going to use this lighter of the two. I personally don't like the darker one for this. I want the lighter color. So I'm going to take the tip of it, get a little bit off, and I'm going to just sweep this under my eye, and I'm going to go pretty much 3/4, kind of where my eye, my iris, is that your iris, the colored area? And is that your iris? Yeah, because the little tiny one's the pupil. I don't know. Feel free to correct me in the comments. What's the pupil and what's the, that's the pupil, right? The black thing in the middle, the real dark, isn't that the pupil? Yes, and then this is the iris, or is it, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Okay, and I'm gonna actually have this go up a tiny bit. Notice I'm not going this way. I don't wanna cause a tension to that area. I'm going almost vertical. Now I'm gonna take another pencil brush. The one I just used is this one here, and I'm gonna use this one, the little bit bigger one. This is the number 3 brush, and I'm gonna go in with this really light color right here. Pounce it on the top, and I'm gonna highlight this right underneath my eyebrow. Now you can see it's already light because I didn't bring the darkness up there, but I really wanna have that show. And I also wanna blend it because I don't wanna see a line. See how it blends just a little bit more? This helps to blend and marry those two together. I don't have a lot of space up here. That's why I use the number 3 brush to go under here. You may have more space and want a little bit bigger of a brush. I would recommend the number 26 brush. Again, it's a pencil brush. Same kind of denseness as this one, but just a little bit bigger. You can get a little bit more product. You have great control with it. So I like the smaller one because I have smaller features. If you have bigger features, I would go with, I always forget the numbers, the number 26 brush. And then no matter what size your eyes, having the number 23 brush, so it's like the little trifecta of pencil brushes, I use them constantly. I could stop right there. A lot of times I do, like I don't want any shimmer, I just want to stop right there. I could go right here with a little bit of shimmer. I really like the look right now. I'm almost tempted to not, but I do want to show you the placement. So I'm going to go in with another flat brush. This is the number 2 brush. So before I used the number 28, do you see the difference? The 28 is this one, but this one is the number 2 brush. And I'm going to just do one side, get the extra off because you don't want to have fallout. So a lot of times I will use my finger, but my finger is big. I just don't have a lot of space right here. It's very small. I want to make sure my shimmer does not go, let me use a different brush in case I get shimmer on me where I don't want it. I don't want it to go above this line right there. That's where the poof is. So I need to not bring lightness to that poof. A brush will make it so that you can control where that goes. Where a finger, when you have small features, that's hard. So this one is important for me to open up, and I'm going to just place it right under. And notice I'm not using all that much, just a little bit. And it's a very controlled movement, because I don't want it going in that area. Now, this is where I will use my finger because for some reason the finger can move that glitter amazingly. So I will take my finger, just blend it out. Now, you don't see much. It's very little, but the light will catch that and it'll just make it look a little bit nice. I don't know. I like the look, but a lot of times I just won't do it at all. Did you notice before I filled in my eyebrows. I did not put gel in them or anything because I always wait till after I've done my eyeshadow because my eyeshadow could get into my brows. I am going to use a gel. My favorite one is from Joa. It's Brow Down to Me. I do think you actually can get this. I found it the other day, so I will link it. I thought they had changed it. It's not on their website like I thought, but I found a link, so I'm gonna give it to you guys. See how this has drooped down? Because my eyebrows naturally droop down. Well, we're trying to have everything go up, so why do I want to keep them droop down? So I need a strong brow gel to have those go back up where they belong. Of course, I'm going to use an eyelash curler. You see how it's just completely straight. My lashes actually don't go even straight out, they go down. So I have to curl my lashes. Rēphr has the best lash curlers. They have the R18 and the R20. See the difference in the curvature? The R18 has a deeper curve than the R20. It truly depends on your lashes and what you can use. I actually like both of them for me. I don't know why, but I do. I am gonna go with this one, which is the R18. It's the one that's got the deeper curve. So I have an entire video on mascara application for hooded eyes. So I'm going to link that below and I'm going to link it at the end of this video. How I know this is a good curvature for me is because I don't constantly pinch my eyes. I mean, you still have to be careful. Now you see the difference? They're going up again. Yay. Okay, mascara's on. So if you've messed up, let's say you got your eyeshadow anywhere over here, take your concealer and just kind of dab it. You don't need a lot. Take your brush. I'm going to use again the number 32. I'm going to be very careful where I go. So I'm going to dab it and just clean up any area. And I can use my finger to soften that line. And when you've done that, make sure you take your powder, your setting powder, and dab it. So you set that because you just added a liquid to all this area where you have powder. Number 17 brush. Rēphr number 4 brush. And I'm going to finalize everything with the Rēphr number 24 brush. This is my blender brush. I love this thing. I call it the bulbous brush because it's just kind of round. I don't know, but it gives a good amount of stiffness, but not so stiff that it doesn't glide. But this just kind of blends everything beautifully. This is one of my favorite brushes as well. More for the face, obviously, not eyes. I'm going to use the Rēphr number 37 brush and I'm going to just powder that area that I just added the cream to. My eyes look a little bit more even now. Now, is my eye still downturned? Of course it is. Of course you can see that I have a line here where I don't have that line here. I'm not going to get rid of the line, but my eyes look just a little bit more even at this point, and that's what I want. As you can see the difference between when I started to where I ended up now. To me, it just makes such a world of difference. I feel so much more evened out and I guess symmetrical is what you want to call it. And my right eye looks just a little bit more awake. Thank you, Rēphr, for sponsoring this video. I'm going to link 2 things for you guys. One is the mascara video that I talked about where how to do mascara for hooded eyes. That one will be here. I'm also going to link another video. I did an entire get ready with me using all Rēphr brushes. That one was not sponsored. So I will see you in maybe one of those or another one. God bless.